Hi, sweet friends. It's been a couple weeks since I've made a video, so I thought it's time for me to get back at this. I took a little vacation, which was super needed and deserved, and so I kind of still feel like I am on vacation, which I think is kind of the purpose of where I'm headed in my life, is I kind of want to feel like that more. And so, anyway, I just want to check in with you guys. Something that's been on my mind today has to do with the news, watching the news, reading the news, listening to the news, being aware of the news. Um, it's kind of taken over a lot of people's lives, I'm noticing. So, because I'm in the business of observation and I want to cheer people up, right? I mean, I'm here to motivate people. So, Uh, and as I do that, I mean, I feel compelled to say, and I kind of want to say it as often as possible, you don't have to do jack, right? Like, you don't have to do anything. You don't have to change what you're doing. I certainly am not here to try to talk you into doing something you don't want to do, right? But if you do feel like you want to pivot a little bit and start feeling different about your life and about stuff, then let's talk about the news, right? So I've been experimenting with different ways of keeping in touch with the world. And while I wouldn't expect for you to do exactly what I do to stay in touch with what's going on out there, there is something that I think is very well founded in psychology, and that is the difference between watching the news and reading the news, even listening the news, right? Watching the news, there's really, I've said this before, I know, but like there's not really any reason to do that because those images that you see when you watch the news, whether it's a still photo or an action video, like movement, but it's visuals, right? And that stuff gets in our brain and it's hard to forget. And when you are looking at images like that, news-wise, all throughout the day, they start to pile on top of one another, and then and they're so powerful, they're designed to be that way, that then when we have just normal stuff that comes in to our sphere of experience, a lot of times that stuff isn't going to be dramatic enough to usurp all of these news images that we have in our brain. So, I mean, if you're just looking to stay informed, you don't have to watch that stuff. I mean, you know what a mask looks like. You know what blood looks like. You know what panic looks like. Come on now. Read your news. Read it. Find a source that you trust, okay? Because I'm not here, to like recommend not what it's about. You got to find something that can you can follow and that you can trust and just read the news, right? Or if there's a podcast maybe that you want to listen to, totally fine, right? Because it's allowing you to conjure the images yourself. And so you get the picture. So then, so to cap it off would be limit the time that you spend doing that too. All right, because they're just going to recycle the same stories throughout the day. If there's breaking news, then have a little time at the beginning of your day where you check in, right? And have a little time towards the end of the day where you just do a little check in. Because if you're like me, I mean, like, I have a lot of friends. Like, I hope you have a lot of friends too, right? And if there is something major going down on the planet, it's pretty likely that I'm going to have a friend check in with me and be like, hey, did you hear? Did you hear the news? And so if you cultivate that kind of life where you have friends that watch each other's back and, cover each other that way, then you don't have to stay glued to it all the time. And you don't have to be the one to inform everybody else. Like if you're the one that's like, ooh, did you hear the news? Did you hear the news all the time? You don't have to do that. You got to find where you're going in your life and what you want to do because the news is going to be there always. Always, 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 always. So scooch it over to the side a little bit and concentrate a bit more on where you're going and what you want to do. And don't make it reliant on the news, okay? Make it more internal, like what do I want to come from me? Not, well, I'll have to wait and see what the world is going to allow me to do, and then I'll move forward. No, you can be in charge, all right? It's coming from you. So that might be a new path for a lot of people. It's like, I'm not really used to doing that. I've already got my routine, where I like watch the news or whatever all day. Just experiment with it. Be willing to try something new and just set a timer or, I don't know, figure out something that works for you, because the world isn't going to wait for you to change. The change, blah, 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 as you know, starts inside of you. It's true. It is true. And back to the beginning of my message, you don't have to do jack. You don't. Just keep doing what you're doing if that works for you. But if it doesn't, this is just a little suggestion for you. Okay, so you guys, I'm moving more towards putting more stuff on my website to access. So if you are not already on my mailing list at theinvincibilitycoach.com, pretty please go over there and sign up. I want you to be on my mailing list so you can keep in touch with the things I'm going to be doing. I have moved. I live back in my heart home, New Mexico. Super stoked about that. So I'm really just about to start digging in and getting serious about providing a lot of more creative content for all the people who are interested in doing jack. Okay? I love you guys to pieces. Peace out.